Yes, that was weird. Yeah, it was. Good morning. Welcome on this brisk winter morning so far. We have our potluck today, so hope everybody's prepared for that at the end of the service. And right now we are going to welcome in the service with a rousing version of Spirit-Led, Spirit-Fed. The lyrics are in your program if you don't know them. That's Kara Rezegay and Andres Medina on drums, and I am Chris, and here we go.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. I don't have to tell you to be seated because you are already seated. But I want to say hello. Thank you for being here, for being present and available and opening your heart and your consciousness as we co-create this delicious experience together with our wonderful future minister team member, Pat Webster, who is going to be giving us the talk today. And we want to say hello to those of you who are joining us online on YouTube or Facebook. Welcome. Glad you're here. If you would just kind of pop a little hi, I'm here in the chat, then you can get a conversation going and feel like you're a part of this because you are a part of this. We are all, again, co-creating this experience together. So let's get started by lighting the divine light candle. And this is to acknowledge, first of all, the element of fire, essential, right? And to remind us that that divine energy of divine fire is within us. And I invite you to say our opening invocation, which is in the on the buff sheet that's in the seat back in front of you. We'll say that together. Take a moment and breathe into your heart center. Together, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, the good omnipotence. Just breathe that in for a moment. Feel that omnipotent energy of infinite love in every cell of your body, every cell of your being is just coming alive with that energy of divine love. So it is. So it is.
As I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know. As I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love.
And so this is our opportunity to dive a little more deeply into that energy of divine love. So I invite you to sit back. If there's anything on your lap, just put it to the side for the moment. Make sure your cell phone is on mute for now. And just take a nice deep breath with me. Closing your eyes. And feeling your body relaxing with the breath. As you take that nice deep breath, feel every muscle of your body just let go. Relax. On the next breath, feel your body bathe in love. And on a third deep breath in, we bring our awareness into this present moment, here and now, into this energy and this space of infinite divine love. We are so grateful for this opportunity to be here now, to be alive and breathing, to be in a warm place, to be surrounded by individuals who are like-minded, open-hearted. We're so grateful for all of the blessings of this season. A season of gratitude. It's a month where we can focus on all of the good that's in our life. We take our focus for a moment off of what's wrong, what's missing, and instead just open to all of the good. All of our friends. Take a moment to feel gratitude for that. Take a moment to be grateful for the relative prosperity that you have. For an awareness of your connection with the infinite divine. We are so grateful for that. We're so grateful that that infinite presence is here just waiting for us. That peace, that love, just waiting. And as we bring our attention within and connect with it and set our intention, we experience it. We have an experience of the divine. We are so grateful for that awareness. We are so grateful for all of the adventures along our path that have brought us to this point. They've helped to shape who we are and what we have to share. And so in the silence for the next couple of moments, I just ask you to focus on what you are personally grateful for. And we are so grateful for the awareness that as we affirm our intention together to live in this energy field of love, we know that it is a healing presence, a healing light and energy that we participate in. And in this moment, we may think of individuals that are on our mind, in our heart, that may not be experiencing this. And I invite you to speak forth gently aloud their names into this healing circle. Brian. And including in this healing light, we include all of the prayers that have been requested and placed in this prayer box. And as I hold it, I know that that energy of healing light that has been generated here by all of us is being felt by all of these individuals. And that whatever they are requesting, whether it's peace, harmony, wholeness, healing, direction, guidance, relationship healing, whatever it is, we know that that energy of love is in their life now. There is only one life. That life is God. That life is their life now. And all that they desire is right here. And we affirm that they are opening to this presence, opening to this awareness. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is. I just ask you to open your eyes when you're ready. Take a deep breath. Begin to bring your awareness back into your body, into the here and now, into this room, and look around you at all of the faces of divine light in the expressing in all different forms. Make a connection there. All right, and with that energy, collective energy of love, I invite you to say together our vision and mission statement, which is also on this sheet if you're not yet familiar, or on the front of the program. So again, let's take a breath into our heart center as we say our vision together. We envision the divine light awakening in all. Our mission, we center in peace and love. We connect in our hearts with others. We celebrate our journey toward wholeness, and we empower others to experience their spiritual magnificence. And so it is. All right. Bright matter, take it away.
Good morning. Hope you all are doing well.
For the holidays, I believe I've missed each and every phase. Come on and play my music. Let's turn on the love light in the place. It's time I find myself totally surrounded in your circles. Ooh, my friends, please celebrate me home. Give me a number, please celebrate me home. Play me one more song that I'll always remember, that I can recall whenever I find myself too all alone. I can sing me home. An easy highway, traveling where the western winds can fly. Somebody tried to tell me, but the men forgot to tell me why. I gotta count on being gone. So come on, baby, and come on, honey, be what you want from me. I'm this strong, I'll be weak. Please celebrate me home. Give me a number, please celebrate me home.
Celebrate me home. Take us all home this morning. I am so very proud of my daughter, Allie. Our theme this month is about the SHero's journey, the hidden treasures along the way. Oh yes, and sometimes Thar Be Dragons. Allie has had an amazing SHero's journey, and one of the dragons that she faced was that of addiction. Now, I'm not giving away any of her anonymity because she's published a memoir, a recovery memoir of her recovery. And she just submitted her story to the AA Big Book because about every 2 decades, I guess, they rewrite it with stories in the back that are more contemporary. And we think she's on the short list because she's gotten a contract, and we think she's on the short list. Many years ago, when I read her recovery book, I learned things about her and my mothering that I had not known. My heart shattered into 1,000 pieces, and I cried for several days. There's a Buddhist story about someone going to Kuan Yin and asking the Buddhist goddess of compassion and asking that she help them learn compassion. And she took them into the woods and she spread them heart up over a big boulder, and she took a stake and she crashed their heart into 1,000 pieces. When our heart breaks, that is how we learn compassion, beginning with ourselves. So reading Allie's memoir was my call to learn self-compassion. Here's a bit of family background. My maternal great-grandmother was abandoned by her husband. He was having an affair with a married lady, and her husband didn't like that and shot him dead in true Appalachian Mountain justice. So here she was in the 1870s, alone in a holler in the North Carolina mountains with 3 daughters under the age of 6. So she, in order to survive task orientation, not relationships, not hanging out and enjoying one another, not sharing feelings, but rather doing hard survival stuff, up at 4:30 in the morning, working hard all day became the priority. Her daughter, my grandmother, my mom's mom, came to her wedding with her hands bound because her fingers were frostbitten from carrying wood off the mountain that morning. So being tough and doing really scary things because we were told to, with no complaining or sharing about it, was part of our legacy. My mother carried that into our family. In elementary school, my brother and I walked across this long footbridge across a roiling river with lots of boulders. And we were little, so we would look down and through the cracks, and it could feel like you were going to fall through the cracks. We did it. You just did it. You did the scary things. In middle school and high school, I walked to school in the winter in the cold, even though it gave me severe asthma, and I would arrive at school feeling like I had this much space in my lungs to take in air. When I was 16 with a brand new driver's license, my mother had a friend who needed a pickup truck delivered to her son in a mountain town about an hour's drive away, windy mountain roads. She gave me a 5-minute instruction on how to drive a stick shift and sent me off. Can you imagine if I'd stalled that thing going up a winding mountain road and couldn't get the brakes on in time? It was scary, but we did it. You just did those things. My mother had her own SHero's journey. She was an accident, an unwanted child. Before her birth, the then youngest of her 4 older siblings was doing what young boys in Appalachia did for entertainment on Sunday afternoons. They would jump the train in Bakersville, jump off in Spruce Pine, and take the train back to Bakersville. Well, my mother's brother got his cuff caught on the wheel jumping off the train and was pulled under and killed. So my deeply grieving, depressed grandmother, who was menopausal, thought she could have no more children, and my mother was conceived. She was cared for in a cursory way. Her mother had no energy to name her. She was called Sis, short for sister. And when she was 6 years old, she realized she would need a name for school, so she walked herself down to the courthouse in this small mountain town and gave herself a name, Bernita. I got some of my tenacity and perseverance and strength from my mother. Because she wasn't cared for well, she told stories of when she was a toddler, her older siblings would throw her in the creek and laugh as she struggled to breathe. And she also believed, so there was no supervision for her safety. She believed that her mission in life was to heal her parents' grief and help them to be happy. And of course, because she was a child, she couldn't do that. That was not her job. The lack of nourishing and lack of care for her safety brought her into motherhood with big shame and a lot of unconscious rage from her early life. That rage sometimes burst out of her in physically abusive ways to us. I became an extremely hardworking, overachiever, perfectionist to try to prove to her that I really was a good kid, and maybe she would see that and she would stop abusing us. There were lots of ways she and my father loved us, and all the ways they knew how. They started saving for our college education, 4 of us, from the day we were born. We had great food. That was a way my mother showed her love. And we had a good home, and they showed up for everything, no matter what. My mother helped make our majorette costumes and arranged for piano lessons. So there was a lot of good stuff there. And fun. Fun was compartmentalized. It wasn't part of everyday life, except we had good dinner table conversations. But on Friday and Saturday nights we had steak dinner, and then we had roasted peanuts and watched TV. That was our fun family night. As I've reviewed these ancestral stories, the thread that runs through it is that tough survival was a necessity, a priority in the beginning, and it was handed down. Even my mother brought it into our family when it was no longer necessary, but we do the things we've done. What was missing was a conscious awareness and expression of how precious we are to one another and that we were to one another. I came into motherhood with this maternal inheritance, quite unprepared for being the kind of mother I now wish I could have been. I carried unhealed shame from the physical abuse, certainly ignorance about hanging out and having fun and playing with and talking about feelings. We did have playful interactions, and we had compartmentalized fun time, and thank God the physical abuse stopped with me. I was teaching nursing full-time when Allie was about 1 year old. It was the early 70s, and it was hippiedom time. My then husband, Allie's father, was very taken with hippiedom. Try as I might, I couldn't follow him into the free sex revolution. He left for the San Francisco scene panhandling when Allie was not yet 1. So now I'm a full-time working single mother with no child support. I began graduate school to become a therapist, got myself into therapy start healing myself as fast as I could. Let's heal this thing. What happened? Did I just push it too far? It's just rickety. Okay. It's demonstrating. It's my husband left, and there I was, a single mom, no child support. So I started graduate school, started working on healing myself in therapy as fast as I could, learning child development as fast as I could, and we started talking about our feelings. Those were the 70s, and it was the culture, and it was the culture in psychotherapy training of letting it all hang out. I did that, including too much with my little girl. When life felt too hard, I cried, and I cried about that in front of her. Then the women's movement came along, the feminist revolution. Friedan, Steinem, early leaders in that, were teaching that the best way to teach and show your daughter how to be a strong woman in the world was to do that yourself. Well, I set out to do that. I sure did know how to work hard, and I had a very demanding but good job that did require me to be strong and powerful. I was the first director of psych nursing at Durham Region. We helped to start that unit, and I also had a faculty position with Duke, helping to train the doctors who came to do their residency, teaching them therapy, group therapy, family therapy. And I called myself the chief second-class citizen in a patriarchal world. It was hard. So I did have to learn to be strong and assertive. With that backstory, here are some quotes and paraphrases from Allie's memoir in her recent article. Mom sometimes struggled too much, not hard enough, or she was afraid of contaminating me with her feelings of not being good enough, her fear she would turn into her mother. So one time when Allie was around 12, I asserted myself on her behalf. She had saved her allowance to buy this music alarm clock that a lot of the kids in her class had. After 10 days, it stopped working. So we went down to the JCPenney's in Durham, and I went up to customer service, and I told them this story, and I demanded that we get a new radio. And he says, goes to the back, he says, "I'm sorry, ma'am, we're all out of stock. There's nothing I can do for you." And I said, "Well, this is not fair. This is not right for my little girl, and I'm not leaving until we fix this somehow." "Well, ma'am, blah, 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 blah." I said, "I need to see your supervisor. I'm not leaving till I see your supervisor." I was causing a scene. There were about 20 people around us. Allie was so embarrassed. She's 20 feet away, hidden in an aisle. I'll tell you the end later. About these kinds of events, Allie writes in her memoir, "I sometimes felt embarrassed by her audacity, her unwillingness to fit into any mold, although there were none that would hold us, and her forthright charge to get what we needed by any means necessary. From the time she was 2 until about 12, I had that demanding full-time job. I worked long hours, getting home with little energy for her at the end of the day. So after about 10 years of that, she was in middle school, and she needed to be taken to activities after school, and I wanted more time, and I wanted not to arrive home exhausted. I wanted us to have some time, quality time in the evenings. In order to do this, I had an escape plan, but having very little child support, what I did was I worked my day job, now leaving at 5 instead of the usual 7. I would drive from Durham to Chapel Hill where we lived, get dinner, get Allie started on her homework, drive back to Durham, and do private practice 5 nights a week until about 9:30 at night, and I worked all day on Saturdays. Sally wrote in her article about those nights, her recent article, and I didn't know this, she said, I spent nights alone in terror. I never knew that. Like me with my mother, you just did the hard things and you didn't talk about it. I learned that the bottom line when she was involved in her therapy is that she saw how hard my life was, so she made a decision to not bother me with the difficult things in her life. Learning that also broke my heart. This began my SHero's journey to find self-compassion. Of this journey, Joseph Campbell says, where you stumble, there lies your treasure. The very cave that you're afraid to enter turns out to be the source of what you're looking for. So to keep going requires self-compassion, where and when we have fallen, so that we can get up and continue. Because, we accept the call for the journey. La, 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 I'm off to an adventure. We get down the road, and there's initiations, a road of trials and ordeals. Some of those on our journey we fail, and we have to recover from these failures, rise again, pause, and continue. One of these trials can be a psychospiritual one, overcoming a lack of self-compassion. Well, what is self-compassion? It means moving away from self-blame and from not loving ourselves. Some parts of us can be so cruel, yes? You got those? They can be deadly. They can lead to physical or mental illness or addictions. And the cruel parts of me said things like, how could you have been so stupid and ignorant and self-centered? What business do you have even being a therapist? You have nothing to give. It's like if we stay in that place and listen to those messages, it would be like the SHero in our journey falling into a pit and never climbing out. Remember Odysseus? He was going to pass this island with the sirens, and they're very alluring, like those voices can be with us. Yeah, you're right. I'll go live with you. And so what he did was he set his course, because these sirens would call and there were rocks that would crash the ships. He set his wheel to stay the course, and then he had his crew tie him to the mast so that he would not turn his ship to that island, no matter how tempting the sirens were. In self-compassion, we use our strength, our will, and our determination to ignore or release those cruel voices. We talk to a friend or a minister or a therapist. We have to be our own fierce friend in finding a way to release those cruel things. That is a part of us, but not a truth part of us. I mean, we want to keep going on this great adventure, right? Winston Churchill said, failure is not fatal. It is courage to continue that counts. So, we have to be compassionate so we can crawl out of that pit. Here are some tools, and they're on a handout in your bulletin. First, we notice when we're suffering. We don't do the stiff upper lift, I must move on thing. We notice when our heart is hurting. You don't need to read these, really. They're just to take home with you. Here's my favorite one. It's the oh honey approach, and I want you to try this with me. So I put my arms around myself, and I sway side to side, and I say either loudly or, outside or inside, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm right here with you. Try that. Try it if you will. Oh, honey. Oh, honey. How's it feel? Feel pretty good? Does it feel soothing? I love that one. I use it sometimes with friends and sometimes with my clients. Some parts of us, let's see. Okay, so I got Odysseus. Wait a minute, I'm lost. Okay. We have to release those inner critical voices, those dragons that sit on the treasure of our self-compassion. We can develop inner ideal parents that might say something to those voices, shame on you, shame on you. If I'd been her parent or significant person growing up, I would have never allowed you to say those things, and I'm right here, and I'm going to tell that person what a good person they are. We can really develop that because we're all born with those archetypes inside. We can use affirmative prayer, releasing those voices and affirming our goodness. Self-compassion is reminding ourselves that our mistakes, our boo-boos, are all part of being human. We're not just divine. We're a divine person having a human experience. Dr. Kristen Neff, who studies self-compassion, says, the goal of self-compassion is to become a compassionate mess. All of our issues, entitlement, anger, self-worth, they'll all be there. Can we hold ourselves with compassion with all these things so that we're not overwhelmed with them? Can we say to ourselves, I love you just the way you are? And as we do that, we can also remember that we're also divine. Myrtle Fillmore says, we may get to a point in our lives where we think that our good is gone from us. Suffering, she says, is a means of drawing attention of our soul back to its beautiful temple. She says, should we be sweet and forgiving? Yes, but not without backbone. What does backbone mean? It means that when we accept our humanness and our divinity, we take an important next step. We get ourselves grounded, and with our backbone, we say no to people or situations that are pulling us away from our connection with Spirit. We ask ourselves, what is the gift in this painful experience? What is here for us to learn? If I made a boo-boo, what can I learn from this? And if we need to make an amend with ourselves, oh, honey, you didn't see that coming. Or, oh, honey, you had an intuition and you went ahead and do it anyway. I'm gonna trust my intuition better next time. Whatever. We make an amend with ourselves, or if we need to make an amend with another, we do that. So at this point, when we're struggling with whatever on our SHero's journey, often the SHero encounters a feminine being. From Unity's perspective, it could be the feminine energy of the Mother God. For Odysseus, it was the goddess Athena. It could be Kuan Yin or Sophia or Tara. We honor diversity. So one day, in the middle of this heartbreak, when I was finding out these things, I was out in the woods and doing some inner work, and I just fell on the ground and sobbed and sobbed. And I said to Grandmother Earth, that was my encounter with an aspect of the feminine, please forgive me. And do you know what I heard back after I finished crying? There's nothing to forgive. My sweet, there is nothing to forgive. We have to take that message, that love, into our hearts. Because guilt has no purpose. My deceased brother, Nat, he was so funny. He said, guilt is like beating ourselves about the head and shoulders with a dead chicken. Do you know what guilt really is? It is unprocessed grief. It is unprocessed anger. It is unprocessed sadness. I am so angry that I arrived into motherhood without the skills I needed. I am so sad for what Allie and I missed. And when we feel those feelings, they eventually clear out. Now, they get activated every now and then, but not so strong. Unity's co-founder, Charles Fillmore, and part of that is realizing after I'd done all that was that given what I had at the time, I did the very best I could. Unity founder Charles Fillmore speaks of reincarnation, as do many of the Eastern spiritual thoughts. And he says that we and others, that we come onto this earth relationally with a purpose to learn the things we need to learn in this life's classroom, to evolve our soul and evolve our spirit. So there's this reincarnation thing. So after I finished this sobbing, I went into the room. I was teaching a wilderness therapy group at the time, and I went back to my room. I'd told everybody to bring something from their altar that had meaning. So I grabbed something when I was quickly packing, just intuitively. I had no idea why I was grabbing it. So after this sob and hearing there is nothing to forgive, I go to my room and I pick up what I had brought, and guess what it is? It's Allie's recovery memoir. And if you can't see it, it has the back, Lena, if you can zoom in, if possible, it has the backside of an elephant. And the title is The Perfection of Everything. It was all perfect. We chose each other. We chose each other to come down. What if my mother and I had a soul contract to have our relationship as it was so that I could work to turn around that generational survival anxiety and overwork? What if Allie, my child, came to help me learn self-compassion and to love my weird, wonderful self just the way I am? Doing this work can literally change our DNA so that we do not pass this trauma and these bad habits down to future generations. And you know what's really wonderful? My self-compassion journey resulted in my feeling deep compassion and gratitude for my mother. What was our soul agreement? I'm part Cherokee in the spirit world, and one of my spirit animals is snake. I've worked a lot with that because it was hard. I've worked a lot with that. But in a book of Cherokee spirit animals, my friend Jay found for me, it says, if snake is your spirit animal, you have survived a childhood that many would not have, and you have grown up to be a healer. Well, for those of you who don't know, I'm a psychotherapist, and I feel like I'm a pretty good healer. So in this SHero's journey, after surviving the initiations and finding the treasures, and we've developed our strength and our power and our will and our compassion, the SHero returns home. Joseph Campbell says that we're now masters of two worlds, the human and the divine. We can enjoy a fulfilled and balanced life. And remember the story of Job? He went through a hero's journey. He was pretty righteous and pretty wealthy, and for some unknown reason, God afflicts him with all these afflictions. Some say he had a bet with the devil or Lucifer challenged him. I don't know. But anyway, he held the course. And his friends, metaphysically, those critical voices came and said, look what's happened to you. You're a sinner. You're not as righteous as we thought you were. You've really done something wrong. But he held the course, and he stayed. And guess what he says about going through the end, coming home at the end of that journey? God will yet fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. And we also come home from our journeys with wisdom and the gifts that we gained that we can share with others. Here is Allie's SHero journey wisdom from the end of the paper that she just wrote. With this guidance in my life, I went back to school to become a hospice nurse. I help people and their loved ones at the end of their lives during some of their most difficult times. I get to do this today. There is no way to express what the hands that helped me along the way meant to me. So I will continue to reach mine out, guided by my higher power to those around me. I find pleasure in being there for those in need, spending hours supporting my patients and other women in recovery. Being helpful is my only aim. So I did some things right. The aftermath of that radio story is that the supervisor finally came down. This whole thing, I may have waited there for 20 minutes. I don't know. He finally came down and he listened to the story. I said, it's just not fair. I just can't let this happen to my little girl. And he goes back to the back. I said, just a minute. He goes back to the back and he comes back and he said, we don't have the model that your daughter bought, but we've got the next grade up. Would it be okay if I gave you that? I turned to Allie, who's peeking out around the aisle where she's hidden, and I looked at her and she said, So Allie says in her book, in response to that, I am aghast. No way. Suddenly, I feel like we belong in the world. I grab her hand and we walk victoriously through the door. I learned, she says, that life will be hard, there will be chaos, unfairness, and difficulty, but this is a strong woman. I can learn from her. Joe Biden says that you know that you've done a good job or a good enough job parenting when your adult children turn out to be better human beings than you are. So I know I did a very good job because Allie is one of the wisest, goodest people I know, and her life inspires me every day. And my heroine's journey, well, it is my joy and honor to be here sharing whatever wisdom from my journey may be helpful to my beloved community, fellow journeyers, and fellow homecomers. I hope it's helpful to you. So I've now asked the band to finish up this message, and the song that they're going to do, I want you to really take it into your hearts. I want you to be reflective, and I've talked with them, and they're fine with this. Take this song into your heart. And Allie, this is for you, and it's also for my mom on the other side.
How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How can anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How can anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Thank you.
All right. 2 in a row.
Three little birds sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. Summer came like cinnamon, so sweet. Little girls double dutch on the concrete. Maybe sometimes we got it wrong, but it's alright. The more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Don't you hesitate, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Blue as the sky, sunburnt and lonely, sipping tea in a bar by the roadside.
Just relax.
Don't you let those other boys fool you. Gotta love that afro hairdo. Maybe sometimes we feel afraid, but it's alright. The more you stay the same, the more they seem to change. Don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. 'Twas more than I could take, pity for pity's sake. Some nights kept me awake, and I thought that I was stronger. When you gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer? Do what you want to, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow.
What a treasure you are. All of you. Thank you. Our wonderful, bright matter. What a treasure. We've been exploring treasure. Yeah, let's give them another. Some more love. Give them some more love. And what a treasure this talk was, huh? Woo. You know, we've been on this quest this month, this quest to find the Holy Grail, that true Holy Grail that lies within us. And each week we've been discovering a different treasure. And the first week was the treasure of inner peace. The second week was a treasure of inner guidance, listening to and following our inner guidance, and the treasure of self-compassion. What an important treasure to own. Thank you so much for that. I can see it's moved a lot of individuals here, yes. So we're so grateful for being on this journey together. We're really on this journey together and supporting each other in it when it gets tough, you know, and encouraging each other and giving each other love. I am so grateful for all of that. And so if you would join me in sharing your expression of gratitude, whatever that might be, in your program, there's many different ways to give, to share of your abundance, to support this community so that we can continue to be here to offer this and to support you. And it just really helps us connect with the gratitude. That's what this month is all about. So many different ways to do it. If you're online, there's probably something coming up on the screen that you can click on that helps you be able to do that, to click on that and share. If you are a sustainer, a conscious sustainer, that means you've signed up to support this community on a regular basis, then you would hold up this green card. And let's just take whatever symbol it is that is a symbol of our sharing and place it to our heart and say our affirmation together, which is also on that sheet there if you want to look at that. But first, breathe into your heart center together. Together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And so it is.
Happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm aware of all my blessings, so much good I can't sit still. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm aware of all my blessings, so much good I can't sit still. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm aware of all my blessings, so much grace I can't sit still. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am
Thank you. All right, let's take that joyful gratitude energy and allow it to pour through your heart and out through your hands as you point them in this direction, just blessing these expressions of love and gratitude, knowing that as we appreciate them, it appreciates and blesses this community, helps it to grow, helps it to shine that light deeply into our community and into the world, and returns to the giver, pressed down, multiplied, and running over. Thank you, Spirit. So it is. It is. And Chris is taking the prayer request box back out to the foyer. And so if you would like your prayer prayed over during the service and also, you know, during the month, the prayer team gets together and prays over this, then the sheets, the prayer requests are right next to it. You just fill it out and drop it in. And so I would like to welcome anybody who might be joining us for the first time today, who's kind of here checking us out. If you just raise your hand and the greeter will come by. Hey, Good to have you here. Packet of information. It's got a little card on the outside, and if you want to take a moment and fill out both sides of that and return to her, we have a wonderful little pamphlet for you that you might enjoy. And if you found us for the first time today online, great to have you here. If you would just say hi, yes, I'm here. And also our wonderful online greeter, Mel, will put up any information that you'd like to know about us. And hopefully we'll see you again. And let's just continue on with another piece of fabulous music.
The band has informed me that we played our 3 songs. We got confused as to plus I'm hungry, so I think we're just gonna have to move past this 3rd song today. And
I gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, sure. Let's really, we've had our fill.
I think you've heard enough. Yeah.
Spiritually and musically and message-wise, and everybody's tummy is grumbling. But we do have a few things to share about things that are upcoming in our community. The first thing we have is Lorraine Lewis. Everybody knows Lorraine Lewis, who heads our prayer team, and she is leading a heart math workshop, a heart math intro workshop. She is a heart math coach and mentor, and heart math is a really wonderful way to harmonize your heart and your body and yourself with everything in your life. Everything kind of comes into alignment and harmony when you practice it. It's a beautiful way to open your heart and to experience love in all areas of your life. So she's leading that on Saturday, December 3rd. More information is in your program of all of these things that I'm mentioning or on the website. We also have a full moon fire ceremony, fire circle that's coming up on December 4th, Sunday, December 4th. We're going to be meeting here at the back deck, and it's Reverend Chris Geith that is going to be leading that. We haven't seen her in a while, so it would be great for her to connect with her. This is sort of leading up to the solstice. It's the last full moon, called a cold moon, the last full moon of the year. And it's just a wonderful time to come together and honor that wonderful energy, that life energy. It's an open mic, so that means you can bring your poetry or your music or your songs or just a smile and contribute that together, create that experience together. Prosperity Workshop. Alt Nathaniel, sitting back there, is offering a prosperity workshop, and that starts this Tuesday, right? This Tuesday evening. So go talk to Alt about this. He will transform your experience with money, right? Okay, social media. Let's stay connected with each other. On Facebook, on Instagram. Not sure we're going to do Twitter anymore, but but many different ways. Also, YouTube is a really wonderful place to connect. We can subscribe to that, and you can watch the videos, not just of the talks, but also pieces of the music, and the meditation is archived there. You can go and watch those things again. If you missed anything on this series that we're doing this month, then you might want to catch up on that and share it with your friends. Really share it. You know, this is how we share our experience with others. Is, hey, now watch this to see if it speaks to you. 3-minute miracle today. This is your opportunity to sit with someone who is trained in prayer. Someone who will sit with you and know the highest divine truth about your challenging situation. And hey, we all have them, right? Help us to learn to love ourselves and see our lives from a higher perspective. And today our prayer partner is Mel Karen. So she will be in that last room on the left. Yeah, that's our prayer room. So you just go ahead and line up there and receive your wonderful prayer. Because of our potluck, which is coming up. We won't have the community forum today or the chair massage because we're just going to get ready to do our potluck and community meeting. All right. Finally, does Alt need a ride home after the meeting today?
No, but after lunch.
Oh, no, you got to stay for the meeting, dude. After the lunch, after the meeting. If anybody, does anybody, could anyone give Alt a ride home? All right, well, think about it, talk amongst yourselves, and get together with Alt. I'm sure we'll find some support for him. Okay, that's it for today. Now we're ready to bring our children in. So, do you got a child song you can give us today? Okay.
I am the radiant light of God, I am, I am, I am. I am the radiant light of God, I am, I am, I am. The help of God, the strength of God, vitality, energy, vim of God, I am the radiant light of God, I am, I am, I am. Light of God, I am, I am, I am. I am the radiant light of God, I am, I am, I am. The help of God, the strength of God, vitality, energy, vim of God, I am the radiant light of God, I am, I am, I am.
All right. I am cold, but all right. Yeah, but I actually dressed warm today. Oh, good to see everybody. Today we talked about imagination. And Michael, you need to come up here. Please, don't hide in the back. You were very much a part of today. You were the main part of today. Michael told us two stories from Ireland, and about imagination. Upstairs, we had long discussion of what imagination isn't just creating art or creating poetry, but creating the life we want. You know, that's like two things. The third principle in unity with co-creating with God. And the last one, 5, which is what we imagine we can be. So that was the main thing. And we had 2 wonderful stories from Ireland. And one taught us about how losing time when your imagination has you deep into a book or any activity. And the other one, we had 2 little theories about that, about getting so absorbed that you forget about the other things in life, or not accepting that your imagination, you can't do those things you imagine you want to do. And there may be something else that may be greater. So we had a great day today. And Debbie's going to put, that's our fairy door that's going to be permanently put outside on a stump. We didn't quite finish. But yeah, that's going to go outside.
Where's it going to go?
On a stump out there. We couldn't find the right one, but Debbie knows. Yeah.
Right outside of the Stumpy Labyrinth. That big old stump.
Yeah, they call him Stumpy. So Stumpy will be getting a door later this evening or sometime. So, and we had today Jane and David and Susan and Edie. Yes, today. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
And Michael was, yes, yes.
You. We appreciate you just the way you are, and we behold the Christ as you. Mwah. Thank you. You may be seated. All right. Thank you. Thank you, all the helpers that were out there, brave in the cold. All right. If everybody would stand up, and Maria has an announcement to make.
Just a few logistics.
Yes.
Before we
Yeah, what, can you come up to the mic? Thank you.
It's almost party time. First of all, if you're a guest and didn't know that we're having potluck today, please don't run away. There's more than enough food for everyone, and we'd love it if you can join us. We do have a few housekeeping tasks. We need to clear space. The chairs go against the side and backs of the rooms. If we could have a few volunteers to help with that. Behind Michael and Jamie at the back are 6 tables, folding tables that need to go out down the sides of the sanctuary with tablecloths. And we need a couple of volunteers to help us carry in the abundant tables of Thanksgiving feast that are in the kitchen that are going to come up the middle of the aisle here. So once we're finished the closing prayer, if we could just ask if you're able and willing to just give a hand, that would be great. And yeah, looking forward. See you soon. Oh, and the community meeting, again, if you're a guest, please feel free to stick around and hear what's going on. It's going to be quick. Just a quick glance into some of our finances and what's planned for the year to come. And we really just want to hear from you as well. So there'll be a sharing circle. So I'd love to have you here and stick around. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, if you would stand up, we're going to say our prayer of protection with I am statements and then sing our peace song. All right, and this is also on this sheet if you're not yet familiar with that. And together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. Power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. All is well.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, then we all are we. Let me be with my family, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me, let this be my moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with
Aha! Woohoo! Move it to the side.